partnership, because if that isn't good, nothing else works out, and some of you may have great things in your marriage right now, things might go perfect, and some of you may not have, might be some things you're struggling with in your partnership or your marriage, and whatever state, I think all of us as we go through life, we have great times and we have challenging times, right? And Dan and Viv have probably been married more than anybody. How many years have you been married now?
51.
51 years. Every year's just been perfect, right? She says, yeah, right? So you've had, even Dan and Viv have had their challenges, I'm sure, right, throughout marriage. And we've only been married for 12 years, and we've had our challenges, and that's part of life, I mean, you don't, and I guess I better just shut up because you're probably going to talk about this, but you don't, get a manual on marriage before you get married. At least I didn't. Maybe you did, but I didn't, right? And you get married, and you just think, oh, I'm in love, this is going to be the best thing ever, right? And it is, but you got to work at it, don't you? And you got to work hard, and it doesn't always go the way you think it's going to, and sometimes things come up, and I know maybe some of you have had divorce happen in your life or something, and I know that there's situations where that happens, unfortunately, right? But hopefully, being involved here, hopefully we can always help each other be strong in our partnerships, and I want Lexee to come and talk about some stuff that we've learned in our life. Maybe we can help you out with some stuff in your life, and so she's got some great stuff here. She's done a lot of preparing for this, and I love her so much because when she loves this part of life, like learning personalities and what makes people tick, and she loves it, which I'm very fortunate to be married to her because she does so much for our kids and knowing what our kids need, and I mean she's just obsessed with that kind of stuff. And which we all should be obsessed with that kind of stuff. It's the most important stuff, and I love her so much, just everything she's contributed to our business. So she's going to come and talk to you about all that stuff. It's here for the great Lexee Neal. And she is looking hot too, right? And she's had a baby. She's had a baby. Unbelievable. I mean that in a very respectful way.
Oh my gosh. Today was the first day at the gym that I wasn't barking at myself in there from 20 feet away. I'm like, all right, I'm getting there. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Okay, when you guys all started talking about the convention, I'm like, wait, I want to talk about that now instead of what I have planned because that's so much fun. But I did want to say that I had, just to speak about all those thousands of people that are there, it's I don't know, I think one of the biggest things about the convention is being in a place that big with that many like-minded people, you want to be around that. I can't tell you how many people came up to me and told me that they were praying for me when I was in the hospital. So many people that I didn't know, and I let them know that I felt those prayers, and that many people to love you. And I don't know, I just think it's cool to know that we could go to any state, probably any city, any state, and find somebody and have a friend there. I just think that's pretty amazing. That's, I don't know, a great company to be a part of. So I had to go get my marriage and family therapist license today to do this training. I feel like, I'm like, okay, I am not qualified to talk about this, but Brad and I discovered this book about, I don't know, almost 2 years ago. And it probably has the best stuff on marriage that we've ever discovered. And we actually read it together and did all that you're supposed to do, and it was really great for us. But like he said, we all get married without any real training. There's not, I mean, now I'm like, okay, now I can understand when my parents were a little nervous when I was 18 and getting married. I understand that now, but at the same time, you do know what's right, and when you know what's right, you know that you can make it work. So anyway, it's just kind of funny because you take two random people, probably grew up totally different, you've got different personalities, different energy, different likes and dislikes, and you throw them together and live together, raise kids together, and then, you add in health challenges, money problems, children, lack of sleep, and then kind of see what happens. So anyway, I just want to talk a lot, I'm going to mostly talk about from this book, and I'm not going to be able to get into everything. Ron's like, wow, are you sharing the entire book? I'll do as much as I can, but are we done at 9?
Whenever you're done.
Brown's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to go to dinner tonight because you're going to read the entire book. But we'll see. I'm like, don't ever give me time because I just have to go until I'm done because I get freaked out if I have to like finish in a certain amount of time. But let's see. I'm trying to think of where I'm going to, if there's anything else I wanted to add before I start reading this. But the first thing it talks about is you know the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? I think this is the inspiration for that book. That saying, seriously. Like, I don't know if they put a lot of thought into it and were like, hey, let's do this. Anyway, but it's a little silly, but honestly, it's amazing. It's called Marriage Fitness, which is a great title, so the title makes up for the picture, but Marriage Fitness. So anyway, I'm going to read a lot from it. So, okay, so it talks a little bit about, you know, without any real training except for, oh, maybe from your mom or a sister, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. I mean, that's not really the best marriage advice that you can get, but you can see how, like, after a few years, people start thinking, oh my gosh, I married this person, we were perfect for each other, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I didn't notice that before, and this and this and this. So, anyway, okay. So, I'm just going to read a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, sorry. I have a million things written down in my little notes. And it says, you might be thinking, if my marriage takes so much time, work and time, then maybe something is wrong. I must be with the wrong person. But the key to love is not finding the right person. It's learning to build lasting love with the person that you found. It's not that easy. Hollywood portrays love as easy, but that's only in the movies, not in real life. Love was easy during your courtship, but that's when you had Mother Nature on your side. After a couple years, those batteries are dead, and so Mother Nature leaves it up to you to keep your marriage charged. Okay, so I'm going to flip through a little bit, but, okay, page 37. Okay, what happened? The person you would have died for is now the person you want to kill. Your person was the answer to everything, now he's your biggest problem. She made you happier than you've ever been, now she's all your source of misery. Okay, this is pretty dramatic, but am I exaggerating your situation? Maybe. You don't have to have major problems, but maybe you don't have that much excitement either. He says, at the risk of sounding clinical, research has shown that falling in love is a biochemical experience which inevitably wears off like fizz in a glass of soda. The initial connection you felt towards your spouse was real, but it was a natural phenomenon. You may not want to hear this, but what you thought was your romantic destiny was just nature taking its course. When it comes to love, nature's course lasts about 2 years. So if you've been married longer than that, then this is where we have to get to work. After that, the connection fades. It could be that neither of you did anything, but everything will feel different. You may notice flaws in your spouse you never saw before. You've known each other for years, but you can't believe you never realized that your spouse was, you fill in the blank. You wonder how you missed such blatant flaws, especially now that you know that everyone else saw them from the beginning. Why did it take you years to realize that everyone else knew all along? After about 2 years together, you may experience new incompatibilities too. Things may not go as smoothly as they once did. It may be more difficult to get along. You may find it hard to believe that you were not aware of these incompatibilities earlier. How did you miss them? As the natural connection fades from your marriage, so will the euphoric experience. This doesn't mean your marriage will crash. You may not even have major problems, but you won't have the profound love that you once did. What will you do then? Which is what this book is about. So he gives you a few different options. He says what most people choose to do is scale down their expectations and kind of just almost live separate lives a little bit. Like you each kind of do your thing that makes you happy, but you make your life work, you make your kids work and all that kind of thing, which is what a lot of people do. You know, there's a few different ways to go about, but he says what he suggests is that you find the soul, you connect with the soul of your mate. He says you might not find a soulmate, you connect to the soul of your mate. Okay, so I'm going to give a few. This might sound like you have no chance, but this is amazing, this book is. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this a little bit is because we're all trying to do our best while simultaneously building a business. Trying to be a great spouse, parents, keep our homes running, fulfill our callings, and it's a lot of work. But we found out that if you make your marriage a priority, are you guys leaving me right now?
He has a dust over broke thing.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just teasing you guys. Okay, so this is where it gets good. It says, getting your marriage into shape. Your marriage is the lead domino in your life. Whichever way it falls is the way everything else in your life goes. That's one reason why it's so important to focus on your marriage. Not only because it's an awesome experience to be in love, but because being in love, having a healthy marriage makes you a better parent, a more productive professional, and a healthier person spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Your marriage affects your entire life. When you're in love, everything is wonderful. But when you're not, nothing is ever enough. You could dress in the latest fashions, go on every diet, make all the money in the world, and be a leader in your community. But if you're not connected with your spouse, if you're not at peace in your home, nothing will be right. Let's see. So it says your marriage is one aspect of your life that contributes to your overall happiness. It's your marriage is the framework, the very bedrock upon which every aspect of your life is built. It's the pool in which everything swims. If it's healthy, everything thrives. If it's polluted, everything suffers. Most people don't focus on their marriage until they have problems, so that's like ignoring your body until it gets sick. So anyways, let's